ki jai, Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupad, Ashtatarashatashmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Mahabhagavat Srila Goraksharas Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gopal Shada Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Avishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Krishna Shil Prabhu and Rup Manjari Didi Dandavat Pranams. This is a typo that happens to me all the time. I think it might be automatic spell correction. But yeah, don't hate Krishna. We should love Krishna. Sorry. Yeah, it's happened to me a bunch of times until I taught my computer Hare Krishna. The word Hare. All right. So the first kirtan, or not first kirtan, whatever. The kirtan. We're going to do this one, Ashraya Koriya Bandham by Sri Sanatan Das. Taking shelter of Sri Guru, please worship his lotus feet, by which, O brother, the wealth of prem for Sri Krishna is attained. To deliver the living entities, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Sri Hari, has manifested in this world by accepting the form of Sri Guru. Know that Guru and Krishna are one in their glories. Accept in your heart the order of Sri Guru as the complete truth. Whoever in true knowledge has faith in the words of Sri Guru certainly attains residence in Sri Vraj Bhumi. One with whom Sri Guru is pleased does not become worried by any obstacle whatsoever. If Krishna becomes angry with you, then Guru can save you. But if Guru becomes angry, then even Krishna cannot save you. Guru is mother, Guru is father, and Guru is Lord and Master. Without Sri Guru, there is no other shelter in this world. Never consider Sri Guru to be an ordinary human being, and never hear any criticism of him. Never look upon the face of one who criticizes Sri Guru. Do not go to any place where criticism of Sri Guru occurs. If you ever see apparently apparent behavior in Sri Guru, still do not neglect him at any time. Just like in the verse, what is it? Drishtai svabhava janatar vapushashtra doshar aprakritatamiha bhakta janasa pashit. One whose devotion remains fixed at the lotus feet of Sri Guru holds great power to deliver the universe. Worship the lotus feet of such a Guru, O brother, as they destroy all suffering. I take upon my head in adoration the feet of one who always worships the lotus feet. I take upon my head in adoration the feet of one who always worships the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Aspiring within the heart to attain Sri Guru's lotus feet, Sanatan Das makes this prayer to him. Since this kirtan is so long, I think I'm just going to sing it in one go. Ashraya Kori. So we can sing it together, huh? One thing. Ashraya Koriya Banto Shri Guru Charan Shri Guru Charan Jaha hoite mile by Krishna Pramoda Jivera nistara lagi nanda sutahari Bhuvane prakasha panu guru rupadori Mahimaya Guru Krishna eka kori jana Guru agya hrite sab satya parimana Satya jnane guru vagya jahara vishwas Avashyatahara hoy vrajabhumi vasa Jar prati guru deva ana parasana Kono vighneshe nahi hoya basana Guru rushta hole Krishna rushta hole Guru rakhi bare pare Guru rushta hole Krishna rakhi bare nare Guru mata Guru pita Guru anapati Guru bina e sansare nahi aragati Guru ke manushya gyana karo kokhon Guru ninda kabo karne na karo shabana Guru nindu kera mukhe Guru ninkera mukha kabo na heribe Jata hoy Guru ninda tata na chaibe Gurur mrikriya jadi dekho kokon Tatapi avagya nahi karo kadachana Guru para par me rahe jara nishta bhakti Jagat tarite she dhare mahashakti Heno Guru para parma koro vandana Jaha hoite guche bai sakala jantrana Guru para parmanita je kore vandan Shire dori vandi amitahara charana Shri Guru charana parmahete koriya Shri Guru vandana kore sanatana dasa Shri Guru vandana kore sanatana dasa Ashaya koriya bando Shri Guru charana Jaha hoite mile bhai Krishna Pramoda Jaha hoite mile bhai Krishna Pramoda Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jai Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jai Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada just see who's all there. Dandavat Pranams, Sudevi Didi, and Rohi Dulal Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams, Haribol. So this is the final article of this book by Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtatara Shmatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. So may he bless us that we be able to follow these instructions that he's giving us in this book about being careful of Vaishnava Aparādha. Now we're going to learn about Guru Aparādha, spiritual suicide. Let me just put this mridanga down 1 second. I have to unplug. Okay, let me check the volume is still working. Okay, it is. Looks like my internet's a little bit choppy today, though. Haribol, Pujumna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Okay. Srila Kaviraj Goswami movingly describes the disappearance of Srila Madhavendra Puri and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. At that time, one of his disciples, Ramachandra Puri, saw that his guru was chanting the holy name and weeping, crying out, Mathura Painu, which means, I could not attain Mathura. Madhavendra Puri was actually exhibiting symptoms of Vipralamba Bhav, a mood of intense separation. Ramachandra Puri was by nature a fault finder, and consequently, he could not receive Sri Guru's grace. Although he was Madhavendra Puri's disciple, his vision was warped, and he saw his Guru as a mundane person. In utter disregard of the transcendental status of his Guru, he said, If you are full of transcendental bliss, what are you crying about? You should be absorbed in meditating on Brahman. Madhavendra Puri was enraged. Get out, you sinful rascal! I don't want to see your face. Then he began to lament. Oh Krishna, I could not reach you, nor your abode, Mathura. I am dying in unhappiness, and this rascal comes to give me even more pain. I am dying without your shelter, and now this fool comes to instruct me about Brahman. Ramachandra Puri was rejected by his Guru, and material desires gradually appeared in his heart. Ramachandra Puri had the audacity to offer instructions to his Guru, a Mahabhagavat, who personified Krishna Prem. He failed to understand that his Guru was immersed in viraha, a separation from Mathura, the transcendental abode of Krishna. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada writes in his commentary, realizing that his disciple was a fool, Madhavendra Puri withdrew his connection and any responsibility towards him. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur elaborates on the meaning of the word vasana, or desire, in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya commentary. Here, desire indicates attachment to knowledge and analysis, which ultimately leads to Vaishnava Aparādha. Whoa. The real cause of a jiva's misfortune is his offenses against Guru and Vaishnava. Rejected by his Guru, Ramachandra Puri went to visit Mahaprabhu in the Gambhir temple in Purī. While waiting, he saw ants crawling outside of Mahaprabhu's door. Without thinking, Ramachandra Puri said, Last night there was sugar candy here, and therefore ants are everywhere. This sannyasi is attached to sense gratification. After saying this, Ramachandra Puri got up and left. He made the effort to see the Lord every day, and yet he could not stop finding faults in the Lord's character. Further, he would publicly broadcast his criticisms. Reports of Ramachandra's criticism against the Lord reached him. Nevertheless, because Ramachandra Puri was a godbrother of his Guru, Ishvara Puri, Mahaprabhu would always offered him respect, accepting the criticism of his eating habits. Accepting the criticism of his eating habits, Mahaprabhu changed his diet. He told his servant Govinda, From now on, it will be a rule that I will accept only 1/4 of what I've been eating of Jagannath's prasadam. If you bring any more than this, I will leave. When Govinda disclosed Mahaprabhu's self-imposed austerities to other intimate followers of the Lord, they felt as if the world had ended. That day, a Brahmin came to offer Jagannath prasadam to Mahaprabhu. Acting on Mahaprabhu's orders, Govinda accepted only 1/4 of a pot of rice and vegetables. Mahaprabhu then took only half of that amount and left the other half for Govinda. The Brahmin was horrified. Seeing Mahaprabhu eating so little, the devotees were overcome with despair and stopped eating altogether. Mahaprabhu, however, ordered Govinda and Kashishwar Pandit to beg food from somewhere else to compensate for their smaller portions of food. This continued for a few days, and finally the news reached Ramachandra Puri, who rushed to see Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu received him with due honor, offering him obeisances and a seat. Ramachandra Puri laughed and instructed the Lord. It is not the business of a sannyasi to gratify his senses. He should fill his belly somehow or other. I heard that you have cut down your eating by 1/2. I can see that you are skinny. Such dry renunciation is also not the religion of a real sannyasi. A sannyasi eats only as much as necessary, but he does not try to please the senses. Mahaprabhu replied, I am just an ignorant boy and like your disciple. It is my great fortune that you instruct me. Ramachandra Puri left, and Mahaprabhu learned that the devotees were either fasting completely or had reduced their eating by 1/2 for many days. Then one day, Srila Paramananda Puri with his disciples came to meet Mahaprabhu. He humbly said to the Lord, My godbrother Ramachandra Puri is by nature a critic. If you give up eating because of his criticism, what will you gain? He encourages one to eat to his full satisfaction, and then to eat more than necessary. Then, after he has induced one to overeat, he criticizes him, saying, You eat too much. How much money do you have? By setting a bad example for other sannyasis, you ruin their vows. It's easy to understand why you have not made any spiritual advancement. Ramachandra Puri always inquires about how others are eating and conducting their daily affairs. The two kinds of activities rejected in the scriptures constitute his daily sadhana. It is written in the Bhagavatam, one should see this world as being under the control of Krishna, and neither praise nor criticize the characteristics and activities of others. One who praises or criticizes others is trapped in duality, and soon deviates from the ultimate goal of life. Of these two rules, Ramachandra Puri obeys the first. He never praises anyone, although he knows the second is more important. He continues to criticize others. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada writes in his Anubhashya commentary. I wrote a question on this on Facebook. I think Rup Manjari will remember. And I got lots of responses, but this is the point. In the Bhagavatam, we find that to not praise is the first rule, and to not criticize is the second. If the second rule is given prominence over the first, then the conclusion is that it is not so bad to praise, but it is imperative not to criticize. Ramachandra Puri observed the first rule, but he failed to adhere to the second. Srila Ramachandra Puri continued, even where there are hundreds of good qualities, a critic does not consider any of them. Rather, he attempts to cleverly point out faults in those attributes. One should avoid the example of Ramachandra Puri, but something should be said against him because he is breaking our hearts. Please, don't give up eating on account of this fool. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Why are all of you angry at Ramachandra Puri? He is simply stating the standard principle of sannyas life. Why condemn him? For a sannyasi to overindulge in pleasures of the tongue is a great offense." Forgot the word is there. The duty of a sannyasi is to eat only as much as needed to keep body and soul together. After this, the devotees fervently requested that the Lord resume his normal eating. At first, the Lord refused, but later agreed to take only half of his original portion instead of a fourth. On the days when Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Bhagavanacharya, or Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invited him to take prasad, the Lord had no choice because he is subjected by his devotees' love for him. The Supreme Lord is like a desire tree. In order to satisfy his devotees, he submissively accepted prasadam according to the devotee's desire. The prime reason for the Lord's descent is to give pleasure to his devotees. The Supreme Lord always acts in ways which he deems appropriate to the time and circumstances. Kaviraj Gosvāmī writes, because of the absolutely independent position of divinity, Mahaprabhu sometimes acted like a common man and sometimes manifested his godly opulence. Sometimes he accepted Ramachandra Puri as his master and considered himself his servant. And other times, the Lord would see him as no more than dirt. Wow. Although it may baffle our intelligence, we must remember that God can do anything he likes, and whatever he chooses to do is always irresistibly charming. It's always irresistibly charming. Ramachandra Puri left Nilachal after a few days for pilgrimage. His departure lifted a heavy burden from the devotees, and they were happy and relieved. They resumed enjoying prasadam to their full satisfaction. The Lord once again filled himself with the bliss of kirtan and dancing. Kaviraj Goswāmī concludes, if one's guru rejects him, one becomes so fallen that he commits offenses even against the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take Ramachandra Puri's offenses personally, for the Lord considered him to be on the level of his guru. However, through his behavior, the Lord taught everyone about the result of offending the guru. This is also an interesting instruction that I get from this, is that even though Ramachandra Puri was an offender, like he acted like that with his own guru, with Madhavendra Puri, but still Mahaprabhu respected him. So no matter who the person is, if they are senior, in years in bhakti, and we at least have to give them some, might not have to be from the heart, but at least some formal respect. Even if the person's Aparādha, no matter what, just because they're senior, just externally we have to, maintain that proper etiquette. Okay. On the other hand, total devotion to the Guru is exemplified in Ishvara Puri. He personally served his Guru Madhavendra Puri, knowing that he was a pure devotee of the Lord and that he was in his aprakat lila, or the pastime of leaving his body and entering the spiritual world. Ishvara Puri, the Guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, personally waited hand and foot on Madhavendra Puri, even cleaning his stool and urine with his own hands, while chanting the holy name and recounting the pastimes of Krishna for Madhavendra Puri to relish. In this way, he helped his Guru to remember Krishna's holy name and pastimes at the time of his passing from this world. Pleased with Ishvara Puri, Madhavendra Puri embraced him and gave him the treasure of Krishna Prem. Ishvara Puri was filled with an ocean of ecstatic love, whereas Ramachandra Puri dried up and became a critic of everyone. Ishvara Puri received the mercy, whereas Ramachandra Puri was rebuked. They are living examples of receiving a great personality's benediction and chastisement. Madhavendra Puri revealed to the world the treasure of sublime love of Krishna,
while relishing divine love and separation, Vipralamba. While singing the following verse, he entered into the pastimes of Sri Radha. Ay dina dayardra nata he, mathura nata kadavalokya se, hridayam par aloka katvaram, daita brahma pramyati kim karom yaham. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 8:34. We also read about this verse when we're reading the 4th chapter of Madhya Lila. Remember, it's talking about only 3 people could understand this verse. Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. Nobody else could understand the depth of this verse. O Mathuranath, when will I see you again? You are supposed to be kind to the poor. I am nothing without you. Now my heart is filled with anxiety, and I don't know what to do. There are 4 Vaishnava traditions. Madhavendra Puri accepted sannyas in the line of Madhva. From Madhva to Lakshmipati, Madhavendra Puri's guru, this disciplic line lacks the mood of Shringar Ras, or not erotic. Erotic's not the proper word here. Amorous love. The spiritual mood which was prevalent in the line was revealed in Mahaprabhu's discussion with the Tattvavadis when he was touring South India. Until Mahaprabhu's time, the popular conception of the absolute truth was Vishnu Bhakti, worshipping the Lord in the mood of awe and reverence. Madhavendra Puri sowed the seed of Shringar Ras Bhakti in the spiritual mood expressed in this verse. He was in the mood of Shri Radhika. After Krishna leaves Vrindavan for Mathura, Shri Radhika experiences intense separation from him. To cultivate her feelings is the highest mood of devotion. A devotee immersed in this ras, or mood, considers himself very poor and humble, and always begs Krishna to be kind to them. Inasmuch as we are separated from Krishna, this mood is the most natural way to feel while performing acts of devotion. After Krishna departs for Mathura, Sri Radhika's heart is trembling with anxiety from not being able to see him. Yearning to behold his beautiful face, she laments, "My love, my heart is sorrowful and agitated because I can't see you. What do I have to do to see you again? You know that I am helpless. Please be kind to me." This is the mood expressed by Madhavendra Puri. It is the same as Mahaprabhu in the mood of Sri Radha and Vrindavan. Our preceptors have said that the root of the tree of Shringar Ras is Madhavendra Puri. Ishvara Puri is its sapling, Mahaprabhu is its trunk, and his followers are its branches. When Mahaprabhu went to Ramuna to have darshan of the deity of Kir Chora Gopinath, he recited this verse. The Lord then entered the highest state of ecstasy. Krishnadas Kaviraj comments that aside from Sri Radha, Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri, no one can relish this ras. By grinding sandalwood, its aroma increases. By pondering this verse, its meaning deepens. The Kaustuba gem appeared within the cream of the ocean of milk, and this verse is the cream of all poetry because it expresses the highest concept of ras. These are Radharani's own words, and her mercy was manifest in the words of Madhavendra Puri. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully relished it. No one else is even capable of understanding it. The Srimad Bhagavatam states that remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet, meaning the eagerness to serve him, removes all inauspiciousness from our lives. In other words, it removes the offensive attitude of not wanting to serve, which is the only means to attract the benediction of the Lord's grace. It awakens in the jiva's heart the desire to serve the Lord. Through service, he is freed from mundane influences and becomes situated in pure goodness, are Vishuddha Sattva. Unalloyed devotion for the Lord dawns in his heart as he relinquishes his slavery to the material modes. He naturally becomes detached to things unrelated to Krishna and receives the highest grace. But by blaspheming Sri Guru and Vaishnavas, all is forfeited and destroyed. By offending a devotee who has taken shelter in the holy name, the taste for chanting disappears. One hovers on the material plane of consciousness, plagued by desires which bring misfortune and inauspiciousness. Haribo? The real benediction for everyone has been nicely delineated in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the discussions between Mahaprabhu and Srila Rai Ramananda. Rai Ramananda says that devotion to Krishna is the ultimate realization and transcendental knowledge. Okay. Sorry, let me start over. Ramananda Rai says that devotion to Krishna is the ultimate realization and transcendental knowledge. The highest fame anyone can achieve is being a devotee of Krishna. The most precious possession is divine love for Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna. And the greatest suffering is separation from Krishna's devotees. A lover of Krishna is the most exalted. Liberated person. Ecstatically singing about the sublime pastimes of Radha and Krishna is the highest religion. The association of Krishna's devotees is the only real good for everyone. Krishna's transcendental name, qualities, beauty, and pastimes are the only subjects worthy of constant remembrance. And the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna are the only things we should worship and adore. The only place worth living is Vrindavan. There, Radha and Krishna revel in their divine dance of love, the Śrīla. The eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna are the only topics worth hearing. The singing of the holy name of the divine couple is the highest form of kirtan and the most exalted form of worship. This is real culture and should be the ultimate goal of human civilization. But if Aparādha against Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava infect the heart, then we digress from the spiritual path and are dragged onto the miserable path of hedonism, of adharma. I bet it says adharma. I'm guessing. Bharatvarsha, India, is an expansion of the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, where gods and goddesses compete to take birth as humans. A birth that offers the best opportunity for association with Vaishnavas and a service connection with Krishna. That precious gift is destroyed by Aparādha and one's life becomes a burden. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended from the innermost quarter of the transcendental abode of Sri Radha and Krishna to remind us of our actual identities as their eternal servitors. But if we allow our innate nature to become diverted from serving Radha and Krishna, becoming slaves of illusion, the rare opportunity offered by the human birth is wasted. Oh, the end. My dear devotees, I humbly beg all of you, please do not commit Vaishnava Aparādha. Devotees, please hear this most secret of all secrets. Sorry. Yeah, okay. The most secret, right? Please hear this most secret of all secrets. The most precious possession is divine love for Sri Radha and Krishna. And the greatest suffering is the separation from Krishna's devotees. A lover of Krishna is the most exalted, liberated person. Ecstatically singing about the sublime pastimes of Radha and Krishna is the highest religion. The association of Krishna's devotees is the only real good for everyone. Krishna's transcendental name, qualities, beauty, and pastimes are the only subjects worthy of constant remembrance. And the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Krishna are the only things we should worship and adore. The only place worth living is Vrindavan. There, Radha and Krishna revel in their divine dance of love, the Śrīla. The eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna are the only topics worth hearing. The singing of the holy names of the divine couple is the highest form of kirtan and the most exalted form of worship. This is real culture and should be the ultimate goal of human civilization. Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Let's read this little biography of Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, founder, president, and acharya of Sri Gopinath Gaudiya Math. In the village of Ganganandapur, district Jashore, now Bangladesh, Tridandi Swami Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja appeared as a son of Shri Tarani Charan Chakrabarti and Srimati Ram Rangini Devi. Born October 8, 1989, must be 1889? Yeah, no, 1889 is too far though. Anyways, I don't know what year this is supposed to be. But born October 8, because I'm born in 1989, during the auspicious hour of Brahma Muhurta, he was called Shri Pramod Bhushan Chakrabarti. Along with the study, oh wait, no, it must be 1889. I don't know, I went for his 100th Vyas Puja in 1997. I'm terrible at math though. Anyhow. Along with the study of Sanskrit, Pramod Bhushan was engaged in worshipping family deities of Shri Radha Gopinath. His reverent service mood was evident even as a young man. Once he forgot to cover the Lord with a blanket on a winter night. That night, he shivered uncontrollably with chills and fever. The Lord appeared in his dream and showed him that he was without his blanket. The young Pramod Bhushan woke up, and only after he covered the Lord did the fever subside. Pramod Bhushan completed his education in Jessore, and then went to Kolkata where he attended Bangabasi College, graduating with honors in chemistry. Interesting. In 1917, he met his guru Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. From the first meeting, an eternal bond was made. Sri Pramod Bhushan accepted Prabhupada in his heart as his eternal master. His strong attachment to spiritual life brought him regularly to his guru's lectures at the Kolkata ashram of Sri Gaudiya Math. In 1923, on the holy occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, he surrendered at his guru's lotus feet and simultaneously took Harinam and Brahman initiations. He became known as Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari, a full-fledged member of Sri Gaudiya Math. Pranavananda's service attitude was so exemplary that soon Prabhupada Srila Saraswati Thakur established him as the editor of Gaudiya Math publications. Pranavananda Brahmachari synopsized Srila Saraswati Thakur's lectures, elaborated on them, and with Prabhupada's approval, they were published in various periodicals, including the only daily spiritual newspaper, Dainik Nadia Prakash. In recognition of his scholarship, Saraswati Thakur honored him with the title Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari Mahopadeshak Pratna Vidyalankar. Srila Purī Mahārāja served in close association with his guru for 13 years. Srila Prabhupada requested that Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari accept Tridandi sannyas. Humbly considering himself unfit, he declined. At the time of Prabhupada's Aprakat Lila, Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari held his guru's lotus feet to his chest so that they might remain forever enthroned in his heart. After Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari Mahapadeshak Pratna Vidyalankar began extensive traveling and preaching. In 1942, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur appeared in a dream and gave his divine order that Sri Pranavananda accept Tridandi sannyas. Sannyasa initiation and the danda were given by his godbrother Sri Bhakti Gaura Vaikanas Maharaj in Champahati Shri Shri Gaur Gadadhar Temple. For more than 7 years, Tridandi Swami Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj served as the head pujari and temple president of Shri Shri Yogapit, the birthplace of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, discovered by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. During that time, the deities were internally urging him to take up scriptural research and deeper meditation. He moved to a humble cottage on the banks of the Ganga and Kalna, living with his beloved deities Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. I need to go to that temple. Rup Manjari is telling me about it. She sent me pictures also. During that time, the king of Bardhaman, or Burdwan, I don't know, a district of West Bengal, was extremely impressed with his saintly character, and on the appearance day of Sri Radhika, 1958, he offered his large temple to Srila Purī Mahārāja. He engaged in service at that temple for several years. Later, his godbrother Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj requested that Guru Maharaj come to his mat to edit spiritual periodicals and books. Guru Maharaj entrusted the temple in Kalna to his younger brother and went to Kolkata to take up his new service. Additionally, His Holiness Om Vishnupad Tridandi Swami Shri Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj requested that he take full charge of his monthly magazine Shri Chaitanya Vani as president of the editorial board. He also became editor-in-chief of the monthly magazine Shri Gaudiya, published from Shri Chaitanya Mat, Mayapur. At the age of 97, Srila Purī Mahārāja continues to fulfill this role with great care and devotion. Presently, Guru Maharaj is the senior-most living disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Additionally, he was the lifelong intimate associate of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, who he considered the benign guardian of the celestial wealth of Srila Rupa Goswami. And he also had a very intimate connection with my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. You can read this beautiful, beautiful article that he wrote. It's in the Kriti Ratna book. It's one of my favorite articles in the book. Srila Purī Mahārāja was well known as the best kirtan leader in the early days of Sri Gaudiya Math, and often sang on radio programs. He is well known for his extensive knowledge and meticulous practice of deity worship and installation. He installed our temple, Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math. There's pictures of his doing the installation ceremony of the mat there. His service to Srila Saraswati Thakur, installing deities in new temples, made him known as Pujapad. In addition to his high position and qualifications, many are attracted to Tridandi Swami Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaja's divine personality. He emanates sweetness and love. He is seen as our well-wishing guide to the spiritual domain. The opening of the Gopinath Gaudiya Math during the 1989 Gaur Purnima Tithi provided a doorway to that spiritual domain. Our humble prayer is that we may always be situated at His holy lotus feet, which are our only access to the predecessor acharyas and their divine teachings. We pray that they may be engaged in the eternal service of Sri Guru and Gauranga and Shri Shri Radha Gopinath under the divine direction of Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj. Jai Srila Bhakti Pramoda Puri Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, it is 1898. Rup Manjari, he used to tease you about your chemistry studies. Oh yeah, you mentioned that you were studying chemistry. That is so funny. All right, so anybody have any suggestion of what kirtan I should sing now? Otherwise, I'll choose something if nobody gives a suggestion. I'll give you 30 seconds. All right, nobody's suggesting anything, so I am just going to pick something. Wait, what's Ranjali writing? Śrīla. Okay, I'm choosing something. What should we sing? Kirtan I really like is Ohe Pramoda Thakura Goda. Let's find that. Let me type it up. Ohe Pramoda Thakura. It's a bit long though, but it's really beautiful. And it has the glories of Sri Guru in it. Oh, come on. Oh, it must be an exclamation mark. Yes. Unless somebody came up with a suggestion. No. Oh, what are they singing in the temple? They're singing the Shayan Arti, the nighttime Arti. Oops, my screen isn't sharing. Oops. Now they're singing Mahamantra. Okay. Oh, God, I did this before. Shoot. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I make this big so you can read it. Okay. O Gaur, Lord of Prem, what shall I tell you of the sufferings of my life, O Master? I have lost my true self. What more shall I say, O Lord, after so long, to speak of the purpose for which you brought me to this world? I become weary with lamentation and sorrow. Attachment to bhajan of you has not awakened within me. I am intoxicated by the mundane and the illusory. And my intelligence is always wicked. By remaining near sense enjoyers, I have become just like them. Who am I? Why have I come here? My mind never ponders these questions. Sometimes enjoying and sometimes renouncing. My mind only dances. What's going on? My mind only dances in beguilement. Is that how you say that? Beguilement. How do you say that? Anyways, doesn't matter. I never contemplate what my outcome will be. I do not even go near the devotees of Hari. All the inauspicious symptoms of one who opposes Hari are within me. By Sri Guru's grace, my illusory dream has been broken. I now understand that you alone are mine. I now understand that you alone are mine, and that your associates are my greatest friends in this prison house of material existence. I love this verse. By Sri Guru's grace, my illusory dream has been broken. I now understand that you alone are mine, and that your associates are my greatest friends in this prison house of material existence. I will not worship anything besides the feet of your devotees. I have taken shelter of the crimson soles of your lotus feet. O Lord, rescue me from Maya's entangling net by pulling the servant by the hair. Jagai and Madai were such great sinners, yet still you delivered them. By that I have realized, O Lord of Prem, that you also deliver the sinful. I am devoid of bhakti, wretched and destitute. Please place both of your lotus feet upon the head of this offender. At your beautiful feet, which instill fearlessness, I take eternal shelter. Ohe Premera Thakura Gaura Premera Thakura Gaura Ohe Premera Thakura Gaura Premera Thakura Gaura Pranera Jatana Kivakabonata Hoye Chiapana Hara Pranera Jatana Kivakabona. Sorry, I messed up. Oh, Pranera Jatana Kivakabona Hoye Chiapana Hara Pranera Jatana Kivakabona Hoye Chiapana Hara Ohe Premera Thakura Gaura Premera Thakura Gaura Ohe Premera Thakura Gaura Premera Thakura Gaura Kiara Bolibo Je Kajratare Ene Chile Nath Jagate Amare Kiara Bolibo Je Kajratare Ene Chile Nath Jagate Amare Eto dina pore kohite shekhata Eto dina pore kohite shekhata Khede dukhe hoi sara Khede dukhe hoi sara Tomar bhajane na janmi dorati Chara mohe mata sada duramati Tomar bhajane na janmi dorati Chara mohe mata sada duramati Vishai rakhache থেকে থেকে আমি বিষয় রাখাছে থেকে থেকে আমি হইন বিষয় পারা হইন বিষয় পারা কে আমি কেন যে এসেছি এখানে সে কথা কখন নাহি ভাই মনে কে আমি কেন যে এসেছি এখানে সে কথা কখন নাহি ভাবি মনে কখনো ভোগের কখনো ত্যাগের কখনো ভোগের কখনো ত্যাগের চলনায় মান নাচে চলনায় মান নাচে
হইবে কখনো ভাবি না হরি ভক্তেরা কাছেও যাই না কি গতি হইবে কখনো ভাবি না হরি ভক্তেরা কাছেও যাই না হরি বিমুখে কুলক্ষণা যত হরি বিমুখে কুলক্ষণা যত আমাদের সব আছে আমাদের সব আছে শ্রী গুরু কৃপায় ভেঙেছে স্বপন বুঝেছি এখন তুমি কি আপন শ্রী গুরু কৃপায় ভেঙেছে স্বপন বুঝেছি এখন তুমি আপন তব নিজ জন ও পরম ফল তব নিজ জন পরম ফল তব সংসার কার গারে সংসার কার গারে ওহে প্রেমেরা ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমেরা ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমেরা ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমেরা ঠাকুর গোরা আনন ভজিব ভক্ত পদ বিনু রাতুল চরণে শরণ লইনু আনন ভজিব ভক্ত পদ বিনু রাতুল চরণে শরণ লইনু উদার হোনা মায়া জলা হইতে উদার হোনা মায়া জলা হইতে এ দাসে কেশে ধরে এ দাসেরা কেশে ধরে ওহে প্রেমেরা ঠাকুরা গোরা ওহে প্রেমেরা ঠাকুরা গোরা পাতাকিরে তুমি কৃপা করো নাকি জগার মাদায় ছিল যে পাতাকিরে তুমি কৃপা করো নাকি জগার মাথায় ছিল যে পাতাকি তাহাতে জেনেছি ও প্রেমের ঠাকুর তাহাতে জেনেছি ও প্রেমের ঠাকুর পাতাকি রে ও তারে তুমি পাতাকি রে ও তারা তুমি প্রেমের ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমের ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমের ঠাকুর গোরা প্রেমের ঠাকুর গোরা আমি ভক্তিহীন দীনা কিঞ্চন অপরাধী শিরে দাদু চরণ আমি ভক্তিহীন দীনা কিঞ্চন অপরাধী শিরে দাদু চরণ তোমার অভয় শ্রী চরণে চিরা তোমার
Sharane chira sharanaloino ame sharanaloino ame oh sharanaloino ame sharanaloino ame ohe mera thakura gora Premera Thakura Gora Premera Thakura Gora Premera Thakura Gora O Pranera Jatana Kiva Kavonata Hoye Chiyapana Pranera Jatana Kiva Kavonata Hoye Chiyapana Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Jaya Sachinandan Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Jaya Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Sapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Sapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Jaya Sapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Sapashara Śrīla Prabhupada Jaya Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Bhakti Pramoda Jaya Purī Gosvāmī Jaya Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Bhakti Pramoda Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Jaya Sachinandan Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gora Hari Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol just seeing this message now. Sorry, Rup Manjari, I missed that. You were just a few seconds too late, I guess. Anyhow, we can sing that another time. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtara Shatashmad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Shila Gurudev ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtara Shatashmad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtara Shatashmad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Mahārāja Shila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashtara Shatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Śrīla Goraksharas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Nitila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Nitila Pravishta Vishnupad Ashtara Shatashmad Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai, Sarva Abhishta Bhadata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki Jai, Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sandubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for joining in this program. Oh, this book. Where is the book? Did I put it away? Oh, yeah. Jai Shri Vaishnava. In Bengali, it's just called Vaishnava Aparādha. The book Vaishnava Aparādha ki Jai. The Heart of Krishna ki Jai. Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. So tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So I want to read an article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Vaishnav Ninda, also on the topic of Vaishnava Aparādha, and then after that, on Friday, I think I might not be available for one day for reading. And then we'll see what happens after that. All right, Haribol. Thank you so much for joining. Jai Shri Radhe.